Welcome to the Jen Cares Powered by Chosen Live podcast, a podcast that brings the community to you. Each week, we feature a guest that will help us stay in the know. We are here every Monday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, here's your host, Jen Cares.
Well, good evening and welcome to Jen Cares, powered by Chosen Counselors. I am your host, Jen Cares, and the founder of Chosen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. As always, I want to thank you so very much for tuning in, for joining us, for sharing, for liking, for commenting, and everything that you do to show love to this platform. I truly, truly thank you. Special thanks to Amira Clemens for joining us last week for our Save the Tatas episodes. Friends, please go to the doctor. Not just because you had to, because the job told you to, but because if you need to go, you should go. If something feels off, please, please, please go and get it checked out because I love you for real and want to make sure that you're doing okay, all right? Welcome to the end of February. Can you believe it? This year is flying. This month's theme was love, me, myself, and I. And the goal was to highlight some areas to help us love on us just a little bit more. And I hope that you have learned something great and it's not over because tonight we conclude. But first, I want to start with our Black History Month highlight. Today, we want to talk about Black history again. Why? Because it's important to know our Black history. The celebration of Black History Month began as Negro History Week, which was created in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson, a noted African-American historian, scholar, educator, and publisher. It became a month-long celebration in 1976. The month of February was chosen to coincide with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. Frederick Douglass was an African-American social reformer, abolitionist, orator, writer, and statesman. After escaping from slavery in Maryland, he became a national leader of the abolitionist movement in Massachusetts and New York, becoming famous for his oratory and incisive anti-slavery writings. Accordingly, he was described by abolitionists in his time as a living counterexample to slaveholders' arguments that slaves lacked the intellectual capacity to function as independent American citizens. Likewise, Northerners at the time found it hard to believe that such a great orator had been once a slave. Abraham Lincoln was an American lawyer and statesman who served as the 16th President of the United States from 1861 until his assassination in 1865. Lincoln led the nation through the American Civil War and succeeded in preserving the Union, abolishing slavery, bolstering the federal government, and modernizing the U.S. economy. Carter G. Woodson was a scholar whose dedication to celebrating the historic contributions of Black people led to the establishment of Black History Month, marked every February since 1976. Woodson firmly believed that Black people should be proud of their heritage and all Americans should understand the largely overlooked achievements of Black Americans. Friends, I want you to be proud of your achievements. I celebrate you, and today we celebrate Carter G. Woodson, Frederick Douglass, and Abraham Lincoln. Friends, I've learned so much this Black History Month, and I hope to continue learning, not just this month, but every month. And it's been a pleasure and honor to be able to research to learn something new to share with you. But let's get into tonight's episode. Self-care, self-love. Statistics show that 74% of people consider self-care to mean taking care of their bodies, while 57% think it means taking a mental break. 39% of men say they consistently make time for self-care, while 32% of women do. Self-love increases with age. People in the U.S. who are single have lower self-love, with an average score of 58 compared to 63 among those in relationships. It's the number one reason why I wanted this series, because we want to love ourselves. Whether we have somebody, whether we don't have somebody, we want to just love ourselves. So I want to ask you a couple of questions. How do you love on you? How do you care on you? What does it look like? See, the thing is, it can be hard to expect love from others when we don't first love ourselves. But we want to learn what love means to us so that we can help others know how to treat ourselves, okay? So tonight, I want us to love on us again a little bit more. And tonight's guest is Lisa Douglass-Doe, the leader of the Crown Adjustment. And though the Crown Adjustment is a women's empowerment group, I know that our men also need their crowns to be adjusted as well. So kings and queens, let's adjust our crowns and get into this chat on self-care, self-love, as I welcome my friend Lisa Douglass-Doe. Woo!
Hello, Jen.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Thank you for coming. Y'all see this energy? Sis is ready. We about to get into this. It's going to be so good. We're going to fly like an eagle. So I'm glad to have you over here at Jen Cares. We always start with our quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, "A man cannot be comfortable without his own approval." Mark Twain. Again, a man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. What are your thoughts on that?
What I thought when I read that, I thought, what does that mean to me? And it means we can't, if we're not comfortable in our minds, then we can't be comfortable with our entire selves, because it all starts in the brain. It all starts with our mind. If you can think it, you can achieve it.
Yes. Starts with our brain. Yeah. Why do we get stuck there though?
I know we start to talk ourselves out of situations. I actually recently had this happen to me. I'm like going back and forth about an opportunity that has come my way, and we start to second guess ourselves because it could be something new, and you think maybe it's not for you, but maybe this is where God is putting you, so that way you can really shine. So we have to all, including me, we all have to get out of our own ways and stop getting these mental blocks.
We're going to talk about that some more too, because that's a big problem. You know, we mess our own selves up, and we don't have to, right? Because we could call on somebody to get support. If we can't pull it from within, we can call on somebody else, because there is somebody else that wants to help you to be the best version of you. Everybody does not have the crab barrel mentality where we're pulling people down. No, we're pulling people up. Tonight, we pulling some people up so that we can love on ourselves just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Chosen friends, as always, I have prepared some questions to guide tonight's topic. But if you have any questions, be sure to drop them below. If you have any comments, be sure to engage this conversation, because it's me and you and everybody, okay? All right, so join on in. So first, Lisa, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so hello, everybody. My name is Lisa Douglass-Doe, and I am the founder of the Crown Adjustment. That's one of my Facebook groups, and it's really for women empowerment. And we'll talk more about what that really means later on. However, I do have a lot of other things going on in my life. I'm a wife. This year, we actually just hit 26 years of marriage.
Congratulations.
Talking about love. We're still in love, right?
Yes, that's amazing.
Let's see. We met in college. I have twins. They'll be 16 in April.
Very nice.
But on the business side, I have a regular full-time job for a software company. Program manager is what I do from 9 to 5, but I'm also a personal development coach. And that's what the Crown Adjustment is, really to help women to uplift their lives. I'm a real estate investor, a CBD distributor, and actually now owner of a security company as well. So those are some of the ventures that I'm in right now.
Yes. See, because a component of self-care and self-love is securing the bag to make sure it's taken care of. And, if you need some help, sis got it. You got a couple bags going on. You're high, you're sister. No.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, it's important. And in times that we live in, every time I go to the grocery store, I feel like the prices keep on increasing and the sizes keep on shrinking, So you want to be able to make sure that you're doing good. And sometimes that means having different streams, different ways.
I definitely believe you're right, Jen. You got to have multiple streams of income. I feel like this pandemic was a clear sign to all of us saying we can't just depend on our jobs. We have to have other things going on in case that rug is ripped out from under us.
It's so true. And this is all in the self-care, self-love, because I don't want to say I'm struggling with it, but I think the hard part sometimes for some of us is you get the idea to be able to do something different, but it takes work. It requires some, elbow grease. It requires you to get down and dirty a little bit. And you're like, well, maybe I'll just be okay with this. But again, as you have shared, life has showed us that sometimes you do need a little bit more. And it shows how much you love yourself, of how much you're willing to do to make sure that you're taken care of.
That's true. And sometimes, the thing is, we talk about self-care. We have to do it for ourselves, but there's other people who are depending on us, right? So sometimes you may have to juggle multiple things in order to make things work for your family.
But it pays off in the long run, friends.
Right.
And if you connect with people, you can find out. It's a project that I'm working on. I have a lot of different projects, but one of them I'm working on because they talk about that income that you can make where you're not doing too much. It's like simple things. And I was doing some research on it today. And at first it was like some classes with it. You pay the fee and it's worth it because it's an investment in me. But then I also found some videos on YouTube. YouTube will teach you anything you want to know.
Yes.
It just takes a little time to watch it, to learn it, to perfect it and master it so that you can do it too. And that's my new thing. I'm trying to make sure that I perfect it so I know what it is I'm doing, get all my questions answered before I go into that, because it's investment in me for my future, because somebody else is dependent on it.
That's you know what? I know that's not on topic, but what you just said of us investing in ourselves is something that we don't do. That is that actually is part of self-care and self. If you want to elevate your life, if you want to grow, we have to realize that sometimes you have to invest in a course, education. You may have to invest in a mentor. All those different things can help you, rise to the occasion. So that's
absolutely. And if you are in the position to be the mentor, you have to always continue to better yourself. Someone reached out, they wanted some mentoring services, some coaching services. I then have to also make sure I'm still doing my homework. I'm still reading up on new techniques. I'm still learning new hustles or different ways to help them budget, to help them, plan things out. Because if I'm just going with the same old, they're probably trying the same old. I want to be able to make sure that I am well-versed.
Right.
And that's that part of investing, because if a restaurant is serving the same thing all the time, every time, it's nice. But even McDonald's every so often throws in a new special.
That's
even
true.
so often Wendy's throws in a new special. Because one, you got to keep them coming. You want to keep it spicy, we can use that word, so that the people continue to come back and that you stay relevant.
Yep, good point.
Stay relevant. Starting good already. Self-care, self-love. So let's talk about that a little bit more. Self-care. What does that look like? Because in the quotes that the statistics that I found, it was saying how self-care, they thought that it was just taking care of their bodies, but some also thought that it was just a mental break. I feel like it could be a little bit of both. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was actually reflecting on it when I thought about the topic, and I thought of 4 different areas for self-care. One, to me, it means taking a step back so that we can reflect and think about what it is that you want to work on, or maybe you need, like you said, you might need a mental health day. I remember years ago, my older sister used to use that term all the time, and it was before mental health was a big deal. This was probably like 20, 30 years ago, and I never understood what she meant. But as now, it's very relevant that it comes, this way again. So I think on the physical side, we need to sometimes your body will tell you need to take care of yourself, and you'll get sick when you've been working so hard, working through the night. Your body will say, no, you need to rest. So you should do it for yourself before your body tells you have to do it. Right. Then on the emotional side, we just talked about that for the mental health areas. Even social. Sometimes people need to take a break from social media and even from your network. Sometimes we're working with our friends and family, and if they're in a toxic, if they have a toxic relationship with you, you need to take a break from that as well. And the last one is spiritual. We want to make sure that we take care of whoever you pray to. Make sure you're getting that connection. For me, I am a Christian, so making sure you're also getting your connection to God. It's about having a relationship. You don't have to be in church all the time, but just making sure you're having that connection.
So, friends, I want to just let it we clearly stated this has now become a Jennifer coaching session because I'm going to get coached because clearly I'm learning some tidbits too, and that's what it's all about too. Because sometimes we have to be reminded. Hey, Mama Wanda, I'm here for this too tonight. When you said taking a step back, there's so many things that we want to do sometimes,
right?
And we have two hands. We're not an octopus, you know. And what happens is we start this, and got all these pots. And a good chef can handle it all, but still a good chef can still sometimes, I let that, cook too long. That cornbread is a little dry. This is a little bit this. Oh, it got a little burnt. It happens, right? Because if we're not rested, if we're not really focused on what it is that we're doing, we could drop, the ball and things of that sort. And it's so important because some things I'm working on. I was consulting one of my branding friends, and it was like, yeah, you're doing good, slow and steady. I was like, oh, but I want to do this soon. It might come sooner. Take your time. It's no reason to rush it. Like, I said, I'm taking up the classes and watching the videos and things of that sort to learn from somebody else. So I don't have to make mistakes. So I have to rewind and read all them things. But that part right there alone is so important. It's taking that step back. And sometimes we become overwhelmed. We get frustrated. We get flustered and things of that sort because we're trying to just stay in. And sometimes we have to take a step back.
And the other part of that, taking a step back, Jenna, is when if you are doing everything, sometimes you need to take a step back to realize you need a team. A lot of people are afraid to ask for help.
Stay right here.
You may some. Let's say it again. Some people are afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
And we want to do everything when really, if you just ask for a little help, it'll take that stress off of you, and it may be giving someone else an opportunity to grow in something that they're interested in.
Ask for help. And I think the challenge with asking for help sometimes is because I was having a conversation with one of my godmom Betty, and she said, you can't expect you from other people. And when you have that mindset, if you do ask for help, if it is a specific way that you want it done, you have to communicate that.
You got to tell them that,
and help and guide them, but also allow them that freedom to be able to add their little thing to it as well. But some things are like, it has to be this way, yada yada who. But communicating that, because that stops us from asking other people, because they're not going to do it how I need it to be done, so I might as well do it myself. But if you tell them, you help empower them so that it's something that they can maybe take on. You don't have to worry about it because,
there's a term that I like to use, whether it's in work or in life, is like freedom within the framework. Give someone the framework of what you're looking for.
Yes.
And then let them, like you said, be fluid in the way that they want to put it together, because they're helping you out, right? You just want to give them a little bit of structure so that way you're getting back something close to what you expected.
And that can be hard sometimes, but it helps you in the long run because it frees up your time to be able to do some other things. And you can kind of like, again, send them notes or give them samples of what it is that you like. I had another friend, they got an assistant, and they're like, yeah, but they don't do it like you, Jen. What do we do to try to prep them and help them to know how it is that you flow? You have to build that relationship so that they know what it is that, who you are and things of that sort. Even in leaders, you'd be like, oh no, they're going to do this. No, that's not their personality. As you get to know them, they know what it is you like, what it is you don't like, how hot the tea could be, how many sugars and things of that sort,
Exactly.
But don't count them out. Let them get in the game. Let them get in the game. That's a good one. Sorry. Hey, Jeannie, I love you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. It's going to be good. Stay tuned for some self-care, self-love, because we all could benefit from it. So that's the self-care part. What's the self-love? What does that look like?
So to me, and I like how you started the call, if you don't love yourself, why do you expect other people to love you? Right? So I feel like this is it. It's self-love is making sure that you're happy. Your happiness is dependent on it. Accepting your strengths and your weaknesses, and choosing to make adjustments as you see fit. But love yourself no matter who you are in the moment, every day. There's this song, I don't know, I know everyone knows Mary J. Blige just came up with her new song, Good Morning Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I heard her interview how she used to have just really, like, she's been through a lot, bad things and toxic relationships. And she started to actually, I think she said, put on her mirror, Good Morning Gorgeous. She should tell herself that over the past year
Mm-hmm.
and made a song out to it. And I think that's something that we should listen to
Yes.
almost on a daily basis to remind us ladies and men
Mm-hmm.
that we are gorgeous inside and out.
Yes. Now you in my business because I'm working on a project, and that's one of the songs that goes along with one of the answers to the project that I'm working on. So it's like different songs and different things in that sort. And I was looking at the words to that because I was working on it today as well. And she was saying, before I do my hair, before I put on makeup, good morning, gorgeous. Why? Because sometimes we put on this facade, we put on these masks.
Yep.
We look good. And again, we can look good without it, but we got to know that we are amazing, whether or not we got on that stiletto, whether or not we got on that good foundation. Foundation is a nice spank to help you hold it together. More of us sisters need to do that. I'm going to put that public service announcement out there. But before you do any of those things, you have to know that you are the bomb.com. You know, not worrying about what society says. And I'm not going to say too much because it's messing up with the stuff that I got coming for you guys. But that's what it is, you know. And even if I do say it, it's my heart, my love for you is that you know that you are gorgeous. Fellas, you know that you are handsome, and that you are appreciated, valued, and important to this world.
It's so funny. It just an idea just came in my mind, or a memory rather, because when I grew up, you know, it was just known that your parents love you. But we didn't say it all the time. Like your mom and dad didn't say every day, I love you, right? But it's so funny because when I met my husband's family, they used to say it all the time. And I was like, oh, that's so strange that you guys, and now that we have children, we say them to, I don't know, my daughter and I say it to each other probably like 10 times a day. I say it to my son all the time, even though he has special needs. I'll say to him, I love you. And he knows to say back, love you too, like that.
Yes.
But we have to, you know, teach ourselves, teach our kids that love is important. It's going to come from themselves first, and then they'll know how to receive it from those around them, because you might get the wrong type of love out in the world.
Let's sit there for a second. Hey, Sandy, this is good. Now let me highlight this part of the love, because I was talking to some children and I was saying, you know, like, you know, I love you. They was like, I know, because I tell them they knew, and for my actions and things. But they felt like somebody else in their life, a parent, did not love them, because not so much that they didn't love them, but their parent didn't say it.
Right.
And when they said, well, my mom doesn't tell me, I know, because you tell me, like, you show me. And I had to explain. She also shows you. She makes sure that you have a roof over your head. She makes sure that you have food on your table. However, everybody is different. Some people do want to hear those words. Right. And, you know, I was watching something and they were kind of like not attacking the 5 love languages, because I love them.
Oh, I love that book, The 5
But they were saying it's more than those 5.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. However, those 5 help you to get to the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 10th. And it gives you somewhere to start, because if you don't even know words of admiration, is it? Now I'm not going to know them because I want to be this right. Terms of words of affirmation.
Service is one of
such service. You know, if you don't know those pieces, if that's something that person loves, that opens up the door so that you can find out, oh, you also love this. Oh, you also love that. Oh, you love this too. Oh, you don't love that. Let me not do that. So it gives you that blueprint so that you know where to go. But again, you have to know the person. You have to get to know the person, know what it is they need to feel loved. Yep. You know, you have to know what it is you need to feel loved so you can tell somebody.
Right.
Because if yours is gifts, and I keep on just giving you words of affirmation, that's nice. But it's like, when you gonna give me something? And it could be as simple as a bottle of water. Hey, you know, I just knew you'd be thirsty, so I brought your water.
Yeah.
Love.
Exactly. Yep. I like to think of self-love as it's your foundation. So that way people know how to build upon that love when you're receiving it.
Yes. But you have to know what that foundation is. So friends, I'm giving us some homework that we really find out, you know, that you find out what your love language is if you haven't. Your love language also changes over time. So again, that's the 5 basics, but there are more, but at least know what your basics are, what it is that help you get to going. You know what
it's so funny that you said your love language probably changed over time, because I'm thinking about probably when you're in your 20s, like I was, it was probably all about touch. Now It's all about service. Like I'll be like, oh, you did the dishes? Oh, you took the garbage out? Oh man, thank you.
And friends that are married or aspire to be married, when your significant other is doing those things, you keep on saying it because it pumps them up and they want to do a little bit more. And you really be like, you the bombs.com. Like, what can I do for you? And I was watching a conversation the other day, and it was talking about you shouldn't be in competition, you know, if you're married and things. And I did not want to talk about that this month. Nevertheless, God be praised. In relationships, it shouldn't be a competition of who's right all the time, who's wrong with things. So it should be, how can I love you better? Right. That's the competition. Can I what can I do to, you know, make sure that you're taken care of? And as you're doing that, you're not worried about those other little things. And even if it is you were right, they were wrong, guess what? You gotta find that balance of, is it worth it to be acting like that? Do you want to be with them? The Bible say he'd rather be on the rooftop than to hear a nagging woman. That's in real life too. Nobody wants to hear nobody nagging. You don't want to hear them nagging either, you know? So again, love. We talking about love.
Yes.
Let's be nice, you know, because we mess up too. They mess up.
We mess up too.
Balance.
That's true. That's a good reminder for me, because I was mad about something earlier today. I was like, it's not worth it. Let it go.
Let's talk about that go, because you like, and we don't let it go sometimes, you know, and then we don't let it go. Then Petty Betty comes. It's a video how it was like, you know, when she's not speaking to you, he you know, make sure everything is real tight where she can't open it, or puts it too high where she can't reach it, things of that sort. Sis and bruh, come on. And again, there's moments in time for everything. Just know that eventually you want to talk about it. You know, 26 years is a blessing, you know, kudos to you. But it took some time and some lessons.
It's all because of communication and compromise. It's never like black or white. You have to be able to always come together and discuss things.
Yes.
That's the key.
And I think that's the hard part too, because communication, we don't always do good with that. I do know why. Oh, dang. I promise. Just flow with it, because you said whatever. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Conversation with myself. We struggle with communication because it's almost like peeling back something and you don't know what to expect from the other person, right? But you have to be able to express what's going on for you, so that they know how to support you. Because if I just keep it to myself, they like, something is off. I don't know what it is. She keep on saying she's fine, but I know she's not fine. You know, let me just clean up my stuff. Let me just try to do these things. And even in doing those things, if they're already in that place with that wall up where they're upset, it's not fair to the other person. So again, if you value the relationship, if you value the friendship, I beseech you, I beg you to communicate what's going on. And don't let so many days go, because if it happened 2 years ago, I'm prime example, somebody told me that I did something that was 2 years ago. I didn't remember. Had something against me. Yeah. And I was like, but then the hard part was that it wasn't even something in my character to do. I said, wait a minute, what? Nevertheless, if that's how you feel, that's not how you feel, I apologize.
Right.
I apologize, you know, because we don't want to hold that baggage. But the hope is that you could do it as quickly. You know, if somebody offends you, go to them and tell them. Don't go around saying, yeah, because, you know, Lisa, she was doing X, Y, and Z, and they ain't right. She shouldn't be doing this. She got the nerve to be talking about blah. Right. She didn't even know that she offended you. Communication helps us to freely move as we should. You got to talk. You got to communicate.
That's actually, you know, I mentioned that one of my businesses is coaching and personal development. And that's one of my specialties, is helping people understand their communication style so that they can thrive better in their career. They can thrive better at home. Because my husband and I would be like, sometimes we would be clashing. And I was like, what's going on? And once I did an assessment to determine what was going on, I'm like, now I understand the way I need to say it to him. And that would make just a little tweak. Yes. And then things will click. And the same thing would happen in the workplace as well. So you're right.
So we already out here in this bit of talking. We want to talk about that tweak too. Because that tweak is, I wasn't condescending. I wasn't in that, you better, It was, you know, I really like when you blah, 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 blah. You know, in love, you say it, because it's not to condemn the person. It's not to knock the person down. You know, you want to continue to build the person up. If they got to do something better, they got to do something better. You got to do some stuff better too, and they let you know. But you want to always let your root of it be in love, where it's not that you just always, because always is not accurate.
Right.
Always is not accurate. Sometimes you just do this, or I feel, put on ourselves and not saying you, and also acknowledging again how we're feeling so that they can know, no, that's not what I meant. What I meant was blah, 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 blah. Right. Or my mom was on so many other things that I had going on that I wasn't able to quite get to share with you about. But that wasn't my intent. Let's talk about it. Let's reason together,
Right.
So that tweet, ladies, sometimes, we can go there. Fellas, sometimes y'all can go there too. It's not just a ladies thing.
Right. Not just the ladies, it's all genders.
Yes, all genders. Because we know how to go there when we want to. And it's not necessarily that it's intentional. We want to be heard. But in being heard, sometimes you got to do that little tweet because, a little honey gets you a little further.
Right. Yep.
I mean, you like stuff sweet better than sour. I mean, the sour helps us. But that little honey.
You need some honey in there.
You got to put some honey in there. Just a little bit. In your tea. Put a little drop. Just a little drop. So that's good. This is good. Because, again, in relationships, we want to be able to communicate. We want to be able to and trust the person. Like, I've had conversations, and it's not always the best of conversations because we really got stuff going on in this thing called life. We get overwhelmed. We be like, you know what? Maybe I should throw in the towel. I'm tired of this. Let me just stay to myself. But when you have that really open conversation of, this is what's going on for me. Now I know how to support you. Now I know to give you that time because that's the time that you need. And I won't feel some type of way because I see that you're going through some stuff too. And while you're going to get your stuff together, I'm trying to get myself together too because there's some stuff going on over here. Just as much as it is.
Tell them, listen, you need a little bit of self-care, a little bit of self-love.
Yes. Let me get you a coupon to get a massage or something. Go ahead and cook a tea. And it's the simplest thing. So let's talk about that and what that looks like too. Of taking that pause back. Sometimes it's taking a day off from work. They say PTOs prepare the others. I'm not coming in, prepare the others. Sometimes we have to do that. I got an email the other day that said that I had so many hours that I needed to take off or I would lose them. I should not be getting an email that I got too much time that I had.
No, exactly. Yeah, you got to they should be like, oh, you taking too much time off.
They should be like, I'm taking too much time. And sometimes we feel like we have to be present, but I guarantee you, if you quit that job.
Not only if you quit that job, if you died tomorrow, they would be posting that new job immediately. They would mourn for about a couple of hours, but my background is human resources. So I know, unfortunately, it's all about the bottom line for the company. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have accrued time off, please take your time off. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to take some extra time off.
And we have to do that because sometimes you get overwhelmed, you get frustrated, you get tired. Some of our companies have something changing every day, every week, and things that sort. Or you're just tired. You need that moment for you because I tell you, Friday come. You close your eyes and it's Monday again. I'm like, I know,
right?
Got off on Friday. What happened? So you want to be able to take that time. So that's a part of self-care too, taking time off from work. Because the stuff you do at work, you got to do some stuff at home.
This coming Friday, we at our company, they called it Thank You Fridays, and the whole company's closed on Friday. And it's really a day for us to self-reflect, for us to take off, do whatever. So I have a facial scheduled. Yes. I like to get massages. I like foot rubs. I just like to, even if I'm going shopping, I'll just like to go by myself. So I don't have to be like, stay over here. Don't do this. Right.
Yes.
And just focus on what I want for the day.
And I love that part of you scheduling those things because that's a big part too. Oftentimes for a holiday, I'd be like, it's a day off before it's a holiday. Let me just sleep in. It's you really taking time to do something that brings you joy.
Right.
Not JoJo and Peachy and all them. What brings Jennifer joy? What brings Lisa joy? If it is you're not cooking for the family, look, y'all got to fend for yourselves. Y'all at least know how to make a peanut butter and jelly. If not, fasting has not killed anybody. It helps you be stronger in the Lord, But really taking that moment to really reflect on you. If it's you going to the park to just sit out in the grass, take your little spray so the bugs don't get you, or whatever it is. If it's reading a book, whatever it is that brings you joy. Because you'd be surprised how refreshing it is.
That's a good point. Even on the physical side, because even during the pandemic, we're all bringing on our COVID-19, which is the 19 pounds for some of us, not even actually the disease, but I was actually finally saying, you know what, there's a park right next to me. I need to at least get out and take a walk. And sometimes you got to take those breaks during the workday, because if you're working, you know, in front of the computer all the time, you got to get up and stretch your legs and take a walk around the park, take a walk around your neighborhood. Let your mind just be clear for a little bit of time, you know?
And it's so important, and you can talk yourself out of it. So that's been my thing. I've been trying to like go for walks and things of that sort. And today I was like, I'm gonna go for a walk. I was like, I'm gonna go through my lunch hour. I ended up cooking during lunch hour. Still a good lunch hour because dinner was done on the evening. But then like the work hour was done, and like, all right, Jennifer, get up. But I started that project or what was in my mind. So I'm like researching and things that sort of save for later so I can watch it later. I'm like, Jennifer, you can do that later. Go ahead and go for your walk.
Right.
And I walked down, then I walked around a long way because the light wasn't turned. I said, no problem, let's go the longer way. Come back around, come on back up. And by the time I got back, I said, oh, it's time for you to get ready for Jen Cares. But I took that moment for myself. I was refreshed. I felt good to get out, to get the air, because we'll get in our minds. We'll be like, oh, it's too cold. Oh, it's raining. Oh, it's snowing. Well, do something in the house. If you're not doing something in the house, at least get out. And even in the coldness, the other day it was raining. I took my umbrella. I did my little walk and surprised myself and did a whole 4 miles that day. I said, what you doing, Jennifer? You just out here and about in the rain, singing and dancing in the rain. You put your music on and you good to go. But it's so important that you take that time for yourself when you feel like it and when you don't feel like it.
And you can also do it with a partner. So like sometimes my husband will go with me for a walk. Sometimes I'll grab one of my kids to go out with me for a walk. And if you do competitions, just to get your activities flowing, right? Maybe you're competing with one of your girlfriends saying, hey, how many steps did you get in today? You can go ahead and, you know, get something going. Because sometimes if you don't have a competitor, you may be in the house. So it's nice to have an accountability partner.
It is, but I will say, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I can have a competitor. I had some friends. We had an Apple Watch, so like your friend finished the work. I'm like, get on my nerves. I ain't even did nothing yet. And I ain't think about competing. I'm just like, I think I'm gonna go lay down. I don't got time, you know. So it really it's also a mind thing. So if you're at the point where you're good with competing, you're already there. But if you're not there yet, you gotta get that mind together. Jennifer, it is better for you. Your body is your temple. Take care of it, because if you ain't moving it, you lose it.
Right.
You know, or you get some other ailments that you didn't want to have, like, oh, hey, the back hurt. Oh, I can't go down. What?
Cholesterol, whatever.
Diabetes, whatever it is. You want to make sure that you're doing these things to take care of your body. That's a part of loving me, myself, and I. I got to get out there and walk when I feel like when I don't. I got to put that video on. I got to stop buying these little exercise equipments if I'm not going to use them.
Right.
It's nice, but if you're not using it, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. But it's nice that you do have it, so that when you do get your mind together, when you get out of that stinking thinking thing, you'll be like, all right, let me get on here and make it work.
Yep.
So good. So good. So has there been a time where you didn't always feel like, you know, you loved yourself, you didn't care for yourself, you was like, you know what, just let this go? Because I mean, I can think of some COVID days. I'll be like, you know what, I don't feel like, you know, moving too much. I ain't gonna see nobody. I know some people are like, no, I ain't even brushed my teeth today. It's 2:00. Wait a minute. But if you ain't around nobody, sometimes you get in this funk, and it's real. It's depression. Even not necessarily depression. Sometimes you just feel gloom and things like that. And we've all been there. What are some things that you do to get out of that funk?
Well, some of the things I do is I'll call one of my friends who has a lot of energy. I'll give them a call, so that way their energy will rub off on me and boost me up, and I'll be like, okay, let me shake this funk off, right?
Yes.
I will go off and maybe take a walk just so I can get some fresh air in me, so that way I'm like, okay, let me stop. But you're right, it happens to all of us, and that's normal, guys. It's normal for us to be in funks from time to time. Realize that it's not forever. That you can come out, it's just a valley for a short period of time, but you can come out on the other side.
Right. And if you feel like it's going on a little longer, call the lifeline, call a friend to get that support. Because again, there's a lot of things happening in life. As we shared in the beginning of, you know, this has taught us that sometimes you may need more than one income. You know, I went to try to do Instacart. I was like, let me order from Instacart. I'm like, it's cheaper for me to walk down to the grocery store and bring it back home, you know, because you need another job to pay for the Instacart.
Right.
But whatever it is to help you like get out of that funk and knowing, you know, what it is that you need to do. Sometimes it's keeping yourself busy. Those muscle streams, you know, so that you're able to do those things. But
other thing I like to do is I like to take nice hot baths. I know a lot of people, a lot of people have like these fancy tubs and they never use it. I was one of those people. I had this really nice bathroom and I was not using the tub. And I was like, you know what? This is a great place because really, if you have kids like me, the bathroom is really the only sanctuary that you have. People don't usually bust into the bathroom. So,
and this is as the kids get older though, because as they're younger, they like, what you doing in there, mom? I gotta go too.
They're teenagers, so you're right.
Yes.
Yeah, just having a bubble bath and being able to relax your mind. You could come out refreshed from that as well. Yeah.
Yes. It's the simplest things. It's the simplest things. Sometimes, even sometimes like, you cook something that you've been having a taste for or something like that. And you go to sit down and eat it. Let's talk about that. Sit down and eat it. Because sometimes we like want to go and eat and you don't enjoy it as much. But I need to sit down and I said, Jennifer, you did that. You got to do this more often. I had to pet myself. I was ready to go to bed right after. Now let it digest first, though, girl. Let it digest. Kick your feet up, watch a little something. Yeah. But it's those little things or whatever it is, again, that brings you joy. What does that look like for you? It could be watching your favorite show. I love a Korean drama. It keeps me up forever and day because I got to read those subtitles. I didn't quite learn their language yet, but that brings me joy. The new one I want to watch has 54 episodes. Lord, give me
strength. My God, that's a lot.
It is an 8-hour long. And the crazy part is I could be watching like a living single and I could be like, all right, let me turn it off. I can watch my different world. All right, well, not always different world, but these Korean dramas, I'm like, I got to watch the next one. I got to watch the next one. Then it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Just you got to go to work, sunshine.
Oh my gosh.
But it brings me joy. So then the next day I know I have to take a nap. So again, whatever it is that brings you joy, you work out that balance of, I can sleep tomorrow.
Right. Yep.
Until I turn it on again and then I messed up. But again, it brings me joy. It brings me peace. It brings me that ease where I'm doing all right. Whatever it is that does it for you. Friends, write in the comments. What are some things you do that brings you joy for self-care and self-love?
Yes. Let's hear it. You guys hear from me. I like massages, facials, taking walks. What do you guys like? Put it in the comments.
Whew. And while they're doing it, let's talk about the crown. What is a crown?
So the crown, you're not talking about my crown adjustment. You're just talking about the crown in general, right?
The crown in general, yes.
The crown in general to me is your confidence, empowerment, your faith, and that's what it is to me. And so sometimes when we go through a trial or a tribulation, you have to adjust your crown because you have to fix yourself. You have to put your head back up. You have to stand tall. You have to shake yourself off so that way you can go ahead and continue to do and be the best you.
But to have that crown, to have that confidence.
It doesn't come all the time, right? You have to, sometimes you have to psych yourself into it. You have to build up your ability to have that crown because sometimes we've gone through crazy, relationships or traumatic childhood. And so you feel like you're not worthy of wearing the crown.
Yes.
There was actually a quote I saw on, let me see and I think you probably heard this before. On the darkest days, when I feel inadequate, unloved, and unworthy, I remember whose daughter I am and I straighten my crown.
Yes.
So we have to remember that we're going to go through bad days and good days. And sometimes when you're in the bad days, you're thinking these are the worst days ever. But when you come out of it, you just straighten your crown, stand tall, and keep it moving and be positive and take the high road.
Take the high road. As Mary says, she wakes up and says, good morning, gorgeous. Like, you gotta get that together, you got to remind yourself because sometimes we forget, and we have gone through blood, sweat, and tears to be confident in who we are, to know what it is that we're talking. And somebody come along and try to say, no, that's not how it go. No, this is the way that it works. This is how you do it. And I get that a dime, it could be a dime. It could be 5 pennies and a nickel. It could be 2 nickels. It could be 10 pennies. We can get there different ways, but you're not going to negate the way that I know too. We could work together and compromise. I bring my nickel, you bring your pennies, but that piece of, it took me a while to get here. I'm not going to let you say, you ugly, you this. No, I know who I am. I know, who my daughter, who my father is, and it's funny because I always reflect. As a kid, I was asking my mom, I was like, Mom, am I pretty? Am I beautiful? And she started telling me the characteristics of my beauty. But because she didn't say yes, I was like, because my mom was transitioning that she's supposed to just say yes and that was it.
Right.
But
Right.
she's what made up my beauty. It was the character that I had, your kindness, your sweetness, how you look out for others, how you want to help somebody else, how you really, can relate to people. You're safe in God. These things make up your beauty. But if you don't have those things, if you don't have that confidence, you don't have those other things, and again, you can still be beautiful without your confidence. It's growing. It's a little bud, But as you walking in and you get around other people that where they crown strong, it's like, hey,
nourish it. Yeah,
I can do it too.
The right people.
So good, so good. Because that's really important. That confidence part. Because society tells us you're supposed to be this.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can be this. You can also be this, and still be just as amazing. Actually, you are just as amazing.
And sometimes you're right, Jen. Some people, you may not see your potential, but someone else will see it in you and help develop that and bring it out so that way it can build your confidence.
And then a challenge then comes. What they talking about? I don't believe them because so many people have told me something different.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So breaking down that wall, it's almost like, with relationships too, of how you've been with Joe, Broke, Crow, all them.
Yeah.
Shame, whatever names. I can't make up none. But you get what I'm saying. You've been with the people that, tore you down a little bit. But then you meet somebody that builds you up and it's almost like, wait, what is this?
Right. It's like, you're like, what's going on? Why are they being nice to me? Why are they paying me attention? And so you don't take it right away. Yeah. It's something that they have to break through to get to you to say, no, I'm really here to help you. I'm really here to help you elevate.
Yes. And I want to encourage our friends to know that just because you experience some bad before doesn't mean that the bad continues to come. Yes. Those were lessons to help us to get to where we are today. Mm-hmm. Yes, they didn't know your value, but this person does know your worth, And sometimes I didn't know my value, so I let them get away with what it was they were doing. But now because I have matured, now because I have grown up, I know that I'm not taking anything less than the respect, Put some respect on my name, they say, because I have gone through too much to get to where I am to let you pull me down. Your expectations of me, if that's really unrealistic, then what are we having this conversation for? And that's self-care, that's self-love. Because if they're not bringing you peace, if they're not bringing you joy, if they're not helping you to prosper, they want to add to your life, they want to multiply to your life, not subtract. Now, some things that should leave your life, but if they just take, can I get some? Can I have this? I need this. I need that. Mm-hmm. And then you're feeling all depleted. They got to go, sis. They got to go, bro.
Deuces.
You got to go.
You said a good thing. Whenever I think of, some people say, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. I did that experience and it didn't work for me. I was like, listen, we all have nightmares, but we continue to dream. It doesn't mean you're going to stop dreaming because you had a nightmare. You got to keep dreaming. You got to keep going after it.
We all have nightmares, but we continue to dream.
We continue to dream. Exactly.
That right there is so powerful. We all have nightmares. We've all had experience that wasn't the greatest, but we continue to dream. It makes me also think of like when you're a child and you're learning how to walk, you keep falling at first. Ooh, right. You fall, but you keep getting up to try again. And I know that was so long ago that we don't remember, but there's still some experiences now where it didn't work, but then we tried it again and it did work out. Mm-hmm. I couldn't figure out how to get it to go. And then I was like, hey, I got it.
Right.
Hey, I got it. Why? Because I kept on practicing. I kept on trying because I wasn't quite ready to let it go. And there's a time too that you go like, hey, I got it. But wait, this ain't for me. I don't like it. I got to stop it. You got to know, what works good for you because, you're trying to do these things because Keisha and whoever them is doing. I don't know these people, but they're doing it. And you feel like you got to be a part. And you find out
I got to do what they're doing. And you're like, maybe that's just for them. Something else is for you.
Yes. Maybe that's for them, someone else, but you got to know what it is that you like for you, what brings you joy, what brings you peace, what helps your crown to be, where it should be. Because people are looking up to you. I used to hate it growing up. They were like, yeah, they looking up to you. Or like the kids were like, I want to be like you. No, you don't.
But people don't realize that, whatever it is that you're succeeding in, people are watching you.
Yes.
So
yes.
Even the haters.
Yes.
So you want to keep doing, don't think about what, who's looking and who's not looking. Just keep being you. Keep doing what you got to do. And before you know it, they're going to come around as well.
Let me have a transparent moment. So Jen Harris has been in establishment for going on 2 years now. July will be 2 years. Mm-hmm. And there's sometimes where I'd be like, should I stop?
Right.
Should I keep on? Because people don't always interact and engage with your content. They're not liking it. They're not commenting, but they see it. And someone was sharing how you can have so many views on a video and not as many likes. Either the people that really were encouraged by it are watching over and over again, or there's some people that are watching over and over again and are not commenting and things of that sort. So I have to, oftentimes encourage myself that, Jennifer, it's on your heart to do it. So you can't stop until God says you stop, because God put on your heart to do it. But that somebody is being encouraged, somebody is being strengthened, somebody is being empowered by the goal of why it was started in the first place, to bring the community to you. We're not always seeking out the supports that we need. So I find some people to bring them over, to share a little love, share a little kindness, share like, wait, I don't got to do this by myself. Wait, that's a resource I can use for my family. Wait, I could, what? I never knew that, And then I'll see somebody, prime example, Sunday, she was like, I really enjoy your show. Because I don't know who's watching one.
Right, exactly.
Unless they comment or they like and things that sort. Because I try to go back to tell them, thank you. I truly, truly appreciate whoever shares it. And she said, yeah, I can't always catch it because I'm going to sleep or I'm going to work. But I watch it when I'm on my way to work the next day or whatever, like her schedule. And I was like,
awesome.
Wow, they don't have to do that. And I appreciate that. And it's always that one that will come back. It's funny. It was the parable in the Bible, the 10 being healed and the one came back. And God is like, wasn't there 9? Because you do pay attention to the ones that didn't necessarily come back. Right. But you're grateful for that one. And if I can get just that one always comes just when I need it to say.
You was about to give up. That's when someone sends you that word or that, that video really helped me. Oh, that guest was great. Thank you for bringing them. Or thank you for that resource you shared on your website.
Yes.
Quote, Jen, that you put. Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, oh, shoot, I didn't even know I was about to quit today. But like, I'm not going to quit.
I was planning what the ending was going to be. Like, it was going to go out with a bang, of course. Because you're like, look, she came and she did what she did. And then it was always like, well, dang, what happened? So, but I appreciate that. And I want our friends to like be encouraged in that too, of like, loving yourself. You're not going to always get accolades. People aren't always going to come to you. Even though it's that one that came or whenever they do come, it could be a moment where I'm still going through and God is trying to test me of like, are you going to keep on doing it? Because I didn't tell you to stop.
Yes. And that's the other thing you have to remember as we start to, whether we're building content, whatever your business is, that you can't be a prophet in your own land. It's going to be people outside your immediate circle that's going to help elevate you to the next level. Yes, your friends and family, we love their support. Yes. And that's their first level of support. Yes. But when you start to reach outside of that network, those are the ones that are going to help you get to the next level. And that's so big because, like, you do appreciate your friends this spring. And, like, you don't want to, it's not at all that you feel like they're supposed to be on every time and watching or sharing and things that sort. Because they got lives too. But when they can, they, check in or say, hey, I caught this. This was really good or whatever like that. But it is the outside circle. But then it's also you just continuing to show up. Yes. If you show up. Consistency is key.
Yes.
Yeah.
I told you this is my coaching session. Y'all are welcome to attend. If you have any questions, Mama Wanda has a comment. You better not go anywhere. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Mama Wanda, my first
episode. Don't go anywhere. That's right.
Yes. My first episode of Jen Cares was a connection series. And the first one was Church Behind the Four Walls. And it was her son, Pastor Brian Jackson. And we talked about, I started off about Jesus. Why? Because Jesus wanted to keep me going. So it was the importance of, having that beyond the four walls. It's not really just being in the church. We are the church, but being able to reach that person outside and the importance of that connection. And Mama Wanda has been faithful since day one. And I truly, truly appreciate it. And I'm grateful, I'm grateful, but I'm human. So in the moment you be like, oh, this is hard work. Or you're trying to reach out to people and they ain't calling back. Like, wait a minute, what? But God has been amazing to be able to continue to connect me with people. I go to events and see Lisa and be like, hey, I'm going to have you eventually. And then you don't hear from her for a couple months. Like, well, maybe she forgot. No, she got you. She just working it into the system.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so funny. Like, I don't even know if they know that we met last year. That was our first event after the pandemic. I mean, it was last summer? Mm-hmm. And I just loved your energy. We connected. And so we've been in contact. So this is let's Let's give a shout out to Jen. Kudos, Jen. Woo-hoo! Thank you.
Well, and Lisa, coaching, because like you still pushing and doing your ministry. I'll be watching and like in a group of things that I start seeing a post. And it's so important because we don't know. And I think that's the other part too of that self-love and that self-care, because my heart is to help somebody else. I don't know who's watching. I don't know all the time why it is that I'm doing what I'm doing or how the conversations go where they want to go. And I was like, I didn't want to even talk about that, Jesus. But again, I always start with a prayer. Friends, before we start Jen Cares, I pray with everybody. Mm-hmm. I pray for their prayer requests and things that sort. But I also say, God, thank you for the opportunity to be able to share with others whatever it is that they need to hear, may they hear. And guess what? Whatever it is I need to hear, I need to hear as well. And I'm so grateful that this platform has been a blessing to others, but also has been a blessing to me.
Yep, it's blessing me too, Jen.
And you adjusting my crown. So in adjusting my crown, you gave a prime example right here of how you got my crown together, Mama Wanda. What are some other ways that we can adjust our crown?
Well, I feel like it's important that we do adjust our crowns because so many other people are depending on us, right? So you have to, it's just like when you're on the airplane, right? You have to fix your mask before you fix the people that's with you, right?
Yes.
So I feel like it's important that you got to take the time off for yourself, to reconnect with friends and family, take a break, whatever it is that you need to do that makes you happy.
Yes. Yes. And it's so important. And we got to do that, friends, because so many times we don't do it because we're not taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're putting a mask on everybody else.
Or we're throwing in the life jacket and we're over here treading water ourselves when we got to get ourselves together.
And I know that it's a weight of, it can be a weight of people like looking up to you, depending on you. But when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're getting frustrated, when you're having that moment like, wait a minute, I need a break. That's when you call on your higher power. You throw out that lifeline, Jesus, is who I call. It's a lot going on right here. Like, can you help me out? And then you have a circle of people that can pour back into you, that can give you a little bit of love, that can say, wait, you're going too fast, slow it down. You're doing amazing things. Just do one thing at a time. They all right. They're going to get it. When you get there, you're going to get it, things of that sort. So being able to know who your support is so that you know that you're not alone. Because that self-care could be a girl's trip, it could be it could be a dinner. It could be, we're doing a lot of Zoom still, a friend had a karaoke for her birthday. Whatever it is, that could, pour back into you so that you can, all right, it's not too bad. Even in the Bible, they had somebody holding up the arms to make sure that, the things continue as they should. Who's holding up the arms? If you don't have somebody connect with somebody that can, so that you don't give up. Because you can't give up. Life is overwhelming. People are taking their lives and things like that. So I don't want that to happen to any of my children.
Anybody.
Reach out.
Call for help.
I got your back. I got your sides and your front too. You are not alone. So tell us about the crown adjustment. Now that we talked about, adjusting the crown, we talked about the importance of the crown. You are the founder of the crown adjustment. What is that?
So the Crown Adjustment is a Facebook group that I started last summer. Yeah, we launched, I think it was last May. And it's really for a group of ambitious and capable women looking to adjust their crown and achieve success and freedom. So we focus on personal development, helping people to shift their mindset to the next level. And the goal is to help you to increase your confidence, build your self-worth, decrease stress. And I feel like this is a safe environment for women to be able to do that.
I think that's the most amazing part. They're part of the safe place because I say this a couple times in the last couple of weeks about us females. Sometimes we can be a little special, we can be a little catty, we can be a little touched. And I mean that all in love because I know me. Maybe, okay, I can be. If I could be, you could be too because we're human, right?
Right.
But having that place where you can go and just be yourself. I went out with two ladies yesterday and we were sitting at the table and I was just gleaning a little bit. Like I was joking around and being myself and they're like, you was too much. But I was also gleaning and I was appreciative that I was able to be myself. I could say like, no, because it's my prayer to Jesus. Like, I don't want to like be messing up. So I'm asking him to help me out so that I don't mess up. And they're like, you're a mess. No, I'm serious. I don't want to mess up. So I need him to do what he need to do on his walk.
Yeah.
So I could be good. Hint, pray for me. crazy. But just being able to be yourself, being able to let your hair down, you can't do that all the time because sometimes it is really that she thinks she this and she thinks
I mean, think about it. If you work a regular 9 to 5, when you're at work, sometimes you really can't let your hair down.
Yes.
So when you want outside of the work hours and you're with your girls or you're with your family, whatever, you can be yourself. Sometimes people are, it's like what code switching is what I've heard. Sometimes you have to be one way at work.
Yes.
And someplace different when you're not at work. I mean, I try to be authentic as I can be at work. This is who I am. So
yes. And I get that. I guess because in different settings, you're freer. Like I can talk about Jesus on here because it's Jennifer's platform and things like that sort. At work, if you open up the door, I'm going in. And it was funny because they were having an event at work and I wasn't able to go. And she was like, "Oh, I went to see you outside of work. See how you are." I'm like, if she only knew I'm the same. And one of my friends was like, all you're going to do is order some wings, some fries, and some water, and then be ready to go. I said, so you know me. She's getting on hold the rocks or maybe rocks, But that's Jennifer. Like, I'm always going to be like giving love and things of that sort. I'm going to be quiet. Yeah. These masks have been a blessing because sometimes the face just gives everything away. Mask on.
Be like, oh,
you know what the eyes are saying, but you don't see the rest of the face, so you're not totally sure. But things that sort, like, and being who you are. But it's nicer when you can share a little bit more yourself. Sometimes you're guarded because you don't really know the community, but that's wisdom too. Because you shouldn't be telling everybody all your business.
You can't tell them all your business. It's so funny. We had a call today at work, and it was one of our team building events. And at the end, it was a lot of fun. And at the end, they were like, "Hey, everyone, share one goal that you've achieved." That you want to share with the group. And like nobody wanted to say anything for like 2 minutes. And then finally someone was like, "Oh, I'll share." And people started to share finally because I think people just felt like apprehensive. Like, I don't know you guys that well that I want to share my personal details.
Yes. Because sometimes it's not their business.
Right.
Sometimes not their business. But again, you learn to trust your intuition, to trust your gut, to know when you can share. And that's the part of the code switch, to know when I should share, when I should keep it to myself, when I should mind my business. Because I'm learning that too. Because sometimes you want to help somebody, and if they doing fine and what they doing, let them babies do that. If it's on your heart and God really pressure you, then you say something. But other than that, I just try to mind my business.
Yep.
Because I got enough going on in my own business.
Right. Exactly.
To try to be helping somebody else. So Crown, started last year. And your target audience is some women, so that's pretty cool. What are some of the events that you do?
So what we've been doing is I've been attempting to have like monthly live events. So at first we're really just sharing information, sharing quotes, sharing some successes and wins that we're having in our lives, and then once a month. So I just had a guest speaker last month, so I'm going to start doing something on a monthly basis.
Very nice. And that's it. As you have the ladies, they keep on coming, they share, something new they want to learn, and you keep on making sure that those needs are met as we continue to adjust each other's crown.
That's right.
What brings you the most joy and what it is that you do in any capacity, whether, from your motherhood, the motherhood, or the wife, or the...
Oh, that's a good question.
What brings you?
I think I would have to say motherhood, because I went through a lot just to have our kids. Like, you're trying, and then we couldn't have kids. Like, it wasn't happening. We were trying for 5 years and nothing happened. Fast forward, I went through IVF. And we were able to get pregnant with twins. And I feel like, I just think about it sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we have 2 human beings that I was able to give birth to, and like we're molding their minds and helping them to stay on the right track and things like that. So I think that's what I find is my biggest accomplishment, is being a mother and helping them to become good adults in the future.
Awesome. And friends, I want you to think of that question too, because that's the part that helps us to keep going. When we remember our why, or what it is that brings us that inspiration to know why it is I'm doing what it is that I'm doing, when I sometimes don't want to be doing it.
That's right.
When I remember, I'm like, that's why.
That's why.
It brings me joy. It brings me peace. It gives me love. It's my self-care. It's my self-love. Because even though self-care and self-love is you taking a break, sometimes it really is being around those people that helps you, with your joy, that helps you with what it is that you're doing. So good. Whew, this was nice. I was like, yeah, I was on the couch today. I was getting a lot of therapy, and coaching. But it was good to help because every so often we do have to do these evaluations, and now we are in the last day of the second month of this year.
Mm-hmm.
We have had some interesting years prior to this year, and even the years of the pandemic and COVID, the years beyond that was still challenging too sometimes, because there was some times where we may have felt at our lowest of lows. We may have felt like, I'm throwing in a towel, and then bam, here comes a pandemic. Bam, here comes a whole COVID-19. Like, who even sunk?
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Not to mention things that are going on in the world, politics wise and country wise. And I don't really watch the news because, as a therapist and social worker, I would see that day to day. So I just don't watch the news. But I do hear, and it's a lot going on, and it is overwhelming. But friends, I want us to remember our whys. I want us to remember the importance of taking care of ourselves. That self-care, that self-love, embracing it, loving on ourselves just a little bit more. That was
everybody give themselves a hug right now.
Yes. You need it sometimes. And it's funny because I be in church and my pastor be like, hug your neighbor. And I be like, one, COVID is not done. But beyond that, I just be like getting my head sometimes. However, sometimes that connection of, that I love you, I'm thinking of you, I'm caring for you, things of the sort, it's so important. And, I joke around and I'll be like, he was like, come on, give yourselves a hug, things of the sort. Give your neighbor a hug next time, friends. I know I don't do good all the time. And if, my pastor's watching this, I still love you. You never know. I'm doing better is what I'm saying. God bless.
Right.
God pray for me. But yeah, that part of like giving love to somebody else. And it's funny. It's this guy, or like somebody does videos and they'll do a sign like, if you need a hug, come give me a hug. And I'm like, I want to do that. Now I know, don't judge me, but you are judging me because I just said when I'm in church, I don't want to do that. But I do really care for other people and I want the best for them. And I just love other people. But I think sometimes the hesitancy is too, you don't want people to take advantage of you because you had different experiences or yada, yada, who. Self-care, self-love also teaches us to be wise, But again, I do love each and every one of you. If ever I see you want a hug, I got you. I got you. I mean, unless you can't find this recording. I'm teasing. You gotta have fun. That's self-care, that's self-love too. What are some things you want us to walk away with?
Let me see. Okay, I challenge everybody to do something this week for yourself. This whole month was all about love, and Jen did a great job of having wonderful people coming on, talking about fitness, talking about health. Now we're talking about self-care. I want us to choose something over the next week. By next Monday, let her know what you did to take care of yourself. That's what I want people to walk away with, to do something, at least one thing this week.
Yeah. And as small as that is, it's big for so many people. It was like, I know I got 24 hours, but I really don't got time. Take a moment.
Make the time.
Because again, we shared, like if you get sick, if you unfortunately pass away, they will find somebody else. Take care of you. Take some time. My god sister said, yes, I'm take time off when I need it. I'm learning. I'm about to take some time myself, one, because I don't want to lose it. And two, because I need it to make sure that I keep on getting myself together. Right. Tiffany said, is shopping a form of self-care?
Yes, Tiffany. Shopping is a form of self-care. Do that, girl. Do it.
No. Let me put the balance. We can be.
Although I find, Tiffany, when I'm ready to shop, like I have the money and ready to go, I can't find anything. And then when I'm out there and about, look, and I have not the money, I have no money in my pocket, then I'm finding everything I want. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's so disrespectful. So I'm gonna plead the fifth on that question, because if a bill is due and you went out there and shopped, I don't want no parts. But again,
we're saying do it, in reason.
yes, but it definitely is a form of self-care. I have sometimes I like freshly baked cookies. I'm not a fan of Girl Scout cookies. Sorry to those that are like diehards for them. But if you give me a fresh baked cookie and it's soft, I like the soft cookies.
Yeah.
It's a form of self-care. So often I'll buy a pack and then have them in the freezer and you can put a couple in and things that sort. Shopping, it could be getting something new. I have a friend, she likes getting candles, So whatever it is that helps you, just make sure, maybe do a self-care budget.
You just reminded me, I love this pecan braid that they have at Panera.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember one time I bought one. I stopped at the Panera. They like, oh, I got 2 or something. And I got home and they only put 1 in the bag. You know, I called them. I was like, I'm coming back because I wanted both. You had a taste for it. And it's not, I was like, no. You just saw me at the drive-in window. I'm coming back because you didn't put it.
Yes.
My sister thought I was crazy. I was like, it's something that I just love to enjoy on my own. And if I don't eat it right away, I'll put it in a Ziploc bag and save it for later.
Yes. And that's self-care.
Yes.
You're speaking up for yourself. I paid for 2.
Right.
I want both of them. Oh, goodness. Yes, Mama, and I'm going to use those days. And yes, Tiffany, shopping is self-care. Within reason. Mama Wada said 2 new pillows made me so happy. $10 for 2 at Sam's. That's it. It's the simplest things. Mm-hmm. It's the smallest things. And sometimes we put off doing that. It could be when this live is over, I'm going to drink some water. It's going to be the sweetest thing to me. Why? Because I'm a little parched. But it's the simplest things that could bring us joy. And when we're taking care of ourselves to help replenish ourselves, taking that shower, taking that bath, going for that walk, buying those pillows, whatever it is you're buying, Tiffany, whatever, take me with you. I help you out. Using those days, giving out that hug, hugging yourself, hugging somebody else, loving somebody else, whatever it is that brings you joy. That's all this month was about. I just want us to, have that joy, have that light, have that love. So help us keep pushing forward and reach out if you need some support.
Wonderful.
So that's my spiel. That's my spiel. So thank you so much, though, Lisa.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to your guests who logged in and interacted with us. We appreciate you all.
Absolutely. And those that watch later, we thank you too.
Yes, we thank you as well. If you're doing replay, make sure you put replay in the comments for Jen so she knows you watched it.
Yes, thank you. Because that's that one person coming back. You're right. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us. May you have a great evening.
You too. Have a great night, everyone.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in, friends, for Lisa Douglass-Doe. That was really good. Let me go back to the comments. What somebody else put? Sandy said, I will have my peppermint tea before bed tonight. Very nice, very nice. My self-care was to take out my trash before this live because then I don't have to go back downstairs. It's the little things that bring so much joy. Because when I forget and I got to go back down, I'm like, dag on it. Maybe I don't need to put it out this week. And that's self-care, self-love too. Because if you don't feel like doing it, sometimes you just got to let that go. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in, Melissa, sharing that this was helpful. I'm so grateful that it was because that's what we're about over here, trying to be able to help us to do better. Don't forget our quote of the day. A man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. Mark Twain. A man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. You have to know that you are amazing. You have to get up and say, good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, handsome. Why? Because you are gorgeous. You are handsome. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are amazing. Don't ever forget that, friends. Oh my goodness. Don't forget our Black History tribute today went to Carter G. Woodson, Frederick Douglass, and Abraham Lincoln. We are so, so grateful for those things that they have done to help us to be what we are today. Give yourself approval to live today, okay? Some other announcements that we got going on. Guess what? Snack Attack is back. I am so excited about Snack Attack. Snack Attack is where we send a care package to a college student. And we are doing our second one. We did our first one. They went out in October. We had 10 students. We went to Mexico. We went to Virginia. It went to DC. It went to Delaware. It went to Pennsylvania. I was like over elated. And when the students reached back out to say thank you, I was really, really grateful to my amazing team for us to be able to give those care packages out. Our application will go live on tomorrow. It will be available on our website. So if you know a college student and they could benefit from a care package, have them fill out the application so they could possibly win a snack attack. What else do I have? So we also talked about the Day of Empowerment because we did a flashback this month. Should I bring it back? Do you want it to be in person? Do you want it to be virtual? A Day of Empowerment was so amazing. Last year we had the second week of this month, we did a flashback to it. So you can go and catch that rewind or catch that episode, or maybe I'll release the whole Day of Empowerment. It really was a great day. We had special guests as Dr. Ulysses and Shanika Pratt. We had Todd. We had Maurice. We had Marquise. We had Maurice. We had Christina. Christian Mills. We had Tiffany. We had Sierra, and we had Sherry. It was an amazing, amazing day. So let me know. We should bring it back. Melissa, you saying yes? We should have it again? Y'all be making me work, but this is good work. Why? Because I love giving back, and it's going to be amazing. Why? Because if we do it in person, we're going to have some good food for you, some good conversations, some great, great, amazing speakers to share and help us to be empowered. Be sure to join us on next week, because guess what? Today's the last day of the month, so next month is a new month. So check out who we got coming. You're gonna like this lineup. Check it out.
Well, hey there. Jen Cares is back again, and we invite you to tune in for the March series, March 4th. Beginning on Monday, March 7th, Bernadette Mills will be joining us for our You're Still Packing episode. On Monday, March 14th, we will have our Look in the Mirror episode with Dr. Tashina Reeder. Be sure to tune in on Monday, March 21st, as we will talk to Darnell Johnson during our Pursue the Dream episode. We will then close out on Monday, March 28th with our Unpopular Opinion episode with Jeremiah Chase. Tune in on Facebook Live or on YouTube by searching Chosen Counselors on Mondays at 8 p.m. Be sure to mark your calendar and tell a friend, as this Gen Care series is brought to you by Chosen Counselors.
So it's going to be good. Bernadette Mills, Dr. Tashina Reeder, Darnell Johnson, and my brother Jeremiah Chase. Shout out to him. His wife is due to be having her baby today or tomorrow. I'm so excited for them. But it's going to be amazing. March 4th. So please, please tell a friend. Be sure to tune in. I got some things coming for us. I don't know what it's going to be. We got a lot of things we're working on. As you can see, I got on a shirt that says, I am chosen. Can you say Matthew 5:16? Do you know what that scripture says? Let me know in the comments. So I don't know if we're going to do some merch. Would y'all like some merch? Would y'all get some merch? I don't know, because I am chosen. I am a city on a hill. Light, my light, letting it shine. Why? Because it's all about Jesus, and that's why we do what we do. Whew, that's everything I had for today. This was amazing. I'm excited. I learned a lot. I was empowered a lot. I grew a lot, and I hope that you did too. Whatever you do for your self-care, let me know. Tiff, let me know. We're going shopping. Mama Wanda, you already know we're going to do. I got you, girl. But I love you all. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Until next time, I love you for real.
Friends, we thank you for joining Jen Cares this week. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Unable to watch us live? Be sure to find us on your favorite podcast platform. You can also visit our website, chosencounselors.com. That's chosen with a Z, so that you can stay in the know and, most of all, never miss a show. If you found value in this episode, we'd appreciate you sharing it with a friend. Most of all, be sure to tune in for our next episode next Monday at 8 p.m. right here, as we specialize in bringing the community to you.